G'day everybody. Hope you had a great weekend. This is a bit of a market scan for the Bybit perpetual contracts. My name is Cobb from TRADERCOBB, and if you haven't got your Bybit trading account, I suggest that you do open it by looking at the description below. You'll find discounted trading rates there for you as well. If you haven't opened an account, please go ahead and do so, because these are the contracts, that's the account you'll need to trade the contracts I'm about to go through. And of course, if you want to know more about how we do what we do, and me scanning the markets and what I do about, or how I go about this and understanding the language, all you have to do is visit TRADERCOBB.com. Again, the link should be in the description below, and join our Become a Trader course, which is completely free right now. And you can get all the information you need on things like chart structure and the different ingredients that I use to go about finding my trades and scanning the market. All free, all for you, all ready to go. All right, so good morning, Dan, Mr. Ether, Robert, Paul as well. I can feel a sneeze coming on. I apologize for when that happens because I don't have a mute button here. We've had some wild weather over the weekend, and we've had some wild moves in the market. And I want to deep dive into Bitcoin first and foremost. Good day, LA Methwich. The reason I want to dive into Bitcoin first and foremost is because we have had quite an interesting 7 days. Of course, last Monday, this is what we saw, a 14.5% move higher. Now, of course, we've seen that decline significantly since, and the gain from the beginning of that candle is only now 2.2%, as you can see there. At one stage during the week, the candle did look very good on the weekly candle. Now, we did see this potential higher low, and also the potential close move towards a higher high. In fact, at one stage, we were only, let's have a look, 1% or so from creating a weekly uptrend. And what I said last week to my community members was that wherever else I spoke, I know definitely on the TRADERCOBB Crypto podcast, I spoke about this candle and said, don't get too excited. It is but one candle. And it turned out to be but two candles. And then after that, our selling came back in a big, big way with with Friday, not Saturday, really selling off hard, which was a real shame, because kind of around the time that I called my day done and went and got the kids, we were somewhere around, no we weren't, we were somewhere around here, between here and here. So we were starting off that candle. And then from there, of course, we held a little bit, and then down we went. G'day, Donna. So yeah, we did see that decline quite heavily throughout Friday, being the biggest of the seller days that we saw. But we can see that 1, 2, 3 big seller days, one little bullish candle in no man's land, followed by another bearish candle today, which is going to close in about half an hour's time. All in all, the market is not looking strong at all. What I wanted to see was a bullish candle coming off of this level here. It would have been a lovely place to have seen that, a potential for a higher low on our daily, because that's also 41,000, and 41,000 is a level of support and resistance. Alas, it didn't hold. Now, we've got to be realistic about the prospect of further downside, and we've also got to understand that the higher time frame charts really are carrying the clout at the moment, with many 2-day candles setting up for short cradle trades on on a lot of different markets, really. And you can see here, look, that big rejection candle now on the weekly it's enormously bearish. We from our high to where we are now, we've come back 15%. A giant decline, a giant pullback, and not the sort of thing that we were hoping for coming into the new week as it starts right now. And just to reiterate on that, the importance of breaking that 26,000, not just from a weekly perspective, but from a monthly perspective as well, would have been taking out the high of this monthly candle also. So where do we go from here? Well, we really go back to square one. We know that there is bearishness in the market, and it's about finding those trends and looking for opportunities for our trade. So I'm going to go across here to our Bybit perpetual list. These are our perpetual contracts that we are able to trade with margin on the Bybit platform, starting with Bitcoin. All right. There is no real cyclicity here, and what I'm looking for, and I will reiterate this, for those that haven't gone through the Become a Trader course, it's absolutely free on the website, I will say this. The first thing that we're looking for is trend, okay? First thing we're looking for is clean trend. Now, what I tend to do is I love to work off of the daily trend, but there is no daily trend really. I mean, look, technically there is because it's a higher low and a higher high, but this is not, in my eyes, a good trend with good cyclicity. This is far better, something like that where we've got good cyclicity coming through. So what I'm going to be looking for, is 4 hour downtrends. Then I can go to the lower time frames to see if I can find my cradle trades. Now, of course, I do teach 3 trading strategies, but what we did with Bybit through the free course was give you access to the cradle trade. Okay, the cradle trade. It shows up a lot of the time. Okay, so we've got lower highs, lower high, lower low here on Ethereum. Oh, geez. Wow, that's come off quite heavily in the last 45 minutes, hasn't it? But do we have anything there that resembles a tradable trend? Not really. There is a lower high and a lower low, but a very quick decline. That, for me, is still sorting itself out. I want to see something that is a little bit more established. So I'm going to jump down to the 1 hour here. Again, a big dip just occurring. It's not going to be enough for me just there on, what we call a bit. Okay, this is looking a little bit more promising, Solana. And the reason this looks more promising for me is that, look, we've got this low, lower high, nice cyclicity. Now, I'm not looking necessarily for a pullback from directly here. What I'd like to see is a bit more of a decline and then a pullback into our averages. Now, for my part right now, I'm going to put that in my watch list. So I'm going to start with a green list. That for me has got a trend. It's got some cyclicity starting. If it continues to move lower, we may actually get something in the not too distant future. We do need to break down through that support that is sitting right there right now. And let's have a quick look at that daily. We've got room. For now, the daily is not of a concern. XRP, very messy there on the daily, very messy there on the 4. There's no point in me looking lower here because there is no trend at all. I'll have a quick look lower now on Cardano. Why? Because we do have somewhat of a downtrend in place. Again, it looks as though it has just dipped really, really quickly and not enough cyclicity there for me at this moment. Quick little look on Binance here, if there's a level starting to form. No. Okay, Chuck, Luke, Ash. Yeah, no. There's not enough cyclicity there at this moment in time. Litecoin. Again, the same sort of thing here. Not the clearest looking of charts. It'll have a quick dip right there. And again, nothing to work with. Shiba. I'd suspect that there won't be too much action there. Again, it's just all happened very, very quickly with that big candle. I want to see a little bit more extension of the move. XRP, I've got in here twice for some reason. Anyway, DOT. Again, there's no real trend there. I mean, I need to see this now push lower to take that out to get into a downtrend. It's not ready. Link will jump to the 1 hour. Again, holding up high before a really quick fall. It's going to take away any form of goodness on this chart. However, if it does pull back and then set a new low with a new lower high, that's the sort of thing I'll be looking for. And it does look like it's going to be our lower time frames, our 1 hours, our 30s, that sort of thing. Trading for shorts whilst waiting, we'll be looking for shorts by the look of things, with the daily major trend being down, or the daily trends being at least weak, the momentum being down. Trying to capture that little snippet. Get in, take your trade, and get out of the way. There's not enough going on there on the old Doge. Sandust again. Sorry, I said call it sand dust. You can see how. Lower high, we've just broken to a lower low, so we'll go to the 30 to inspect further. There is a trend here. There's a lower high and a lower low. Once again, very similar to Sol in the sense that if I were to take a trade, I'd want to see it fall further from here. But I'm going to leave that in. And I'm just going to leave this 30-minute chart up in front of me now because this is a time frame that seems to be showing us whether there'll be opportunity there or not. Now, again, I will be looking for established downtrends that are already in play or trends that are in play that need a little bit more of a push, similar to AVAX, which will join the list. It needs to pull down further. I'll go back through and walk you through these, what I'm looking at and why. once I've found my full list. Because the first thing that we do each day is we get our watch list, which is really just to gather up all those markets that are trending that could present opportunity throughout the day, and then to work out what, if anything, we would do under what circumstances. Ooh, chilies. Really nice lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Good cyclicity coming in there. Could we go to the 15? We could, yeah. Now, am I concerned about the push higher here yesterday? Two things to note here. One, I can look at this 4 hour, as I should. There's a higher low and a higher high. The 4 hour is in an uptrend. If I then look at the 8 hour, you'll note that there is also an uptrend. Higher low, higher low, pushing on. So Chili's has the potential to be a long trade. How so? Well, look at where the 4 hour is. It's right smack bang in that 4 hour cradle zone. All right, really, really nice pullback there as well. I suspect that will be somewhat of maybe a 61.8% fib. Let's have a look. Nearly, very nearly. It's in the right area. And that, I'm not looking at a Fibonacci booster. For those of you who don't know what that is, don't worry. If you want to learn that, it's on the Become a Master course on the website. Chili's right here. I could very easily look at this on the 30 and go, oh, very nice downtrend. Perhaps I'll look for a short here, like I did start to do. And this is why we use multiple time frame analysis to give us that big picture viewpoint. Because when I look at this, I go, oh yeah, I could look for a short here. But I don't like to short on the lower time frames when the mids have an uptrend. So if I'm going to be trading lower than the 4 hour, I want the 4 hour to be trending. This 4 hour is trending up. So would it be wise for me then to look for shorts on the lowers? Well, no, not if I'm going to be following my rules and not if I'm going to be following my experience. I've been trading for 17 years now. I said more than that the other day. I apologize. I just got confused. It just feels like it's been longer. Would I short this here? Look, there is an absolute probability, or possibility, I should say, of this pulling up, giving a bearish candle, and then selling off. And it could be a profitable trade. But the objective of trading is not just to focus on being profitable. I'll say that again. The objective of being a good trader is not just to focus on being profitable on the individual trade. It's about having a number of trades that you execute flawlessly, and that sea of great trades should give you your profit. An individual trade is not what we're searching for. We're searching for good options within our strategies, so we've got that edge for ourselves. And if I was to do anything here, it would be, at this stage, wait to see if I got a 4 hour bullish candle to go long. And that's why we always look at the 4 hour. Here you go, lower high, lower low on loopring, which means I can now drop down in those lower time frames because that 4 hour does have a downtrend, and I know that the lower time frames are the ones where the momentum is at the moment. With loopring, once again, if it was to fall further, a pullback into that cradle zone would be worthwhile me watching. OMG, same thing. Quick flick back to the 30. Not good enough cyclicity there on OMG. Matic, let's go back to the 30. Why? Well, we've got lower highs and lower lows. Quick jump to the 30. Shows this. It's kind of got to do a little bit more, and it's not quite there yet on Matic. I shall leave that. Algo is still very trapped and a bit messy throughout this sideways movement right now, as is Hedera. It needs to push down and give us a little bit more extension. Tezos, still kind of sideways, needs to push down and give us some extension to get us some cyclicity on those lower time frames. The same can be said for Axie. V-Chain, I'll have a quick look here as we've just broken lows, but again, this needs to push further. It's still quite congested, although there is a lower high and there is a lower low. I need to see a bit more cyclicity going through. What I would have preferred to see here is pull back into here, then a short pullback into the cradle, then the next dip lower to give it much more of that sort of sweeping momentum through. Don't have that right now, so I shall leave. Tron is still very much confused about what trend it's in, so I shall leave it. I don't think we'll see anything here on IOTA. Again, we need to see it move further. It's not quite established well enough just yet. I'll try EOS, given that we do have a lower high and now a lower low. Wow. That's a bit of a big 30-minute candle, isn't it? I'm going to be leaving that. Ethereum Classic, back to our 30. No, again, a big dip, not giving us what we really need. And you can see what generally happens when you know what you're doing with your scans. Like when you go about your scans and you've got your checklists and you're working through it. As you go through a few charts, you tend to get to a point where you start to go, oh, okay, so this is the way the market's playing out today. You know, for example, here we've got lower time frames, some of which have some cyclicity, many of which still are a bit confused. But we need to make sure that we're thinking about, okay, this is the likelihood at the moment. This is the likelihood. The likelihood is that we're going to get short opportunities before we get long opportunities. So we bounce between the 4 and we bounce between the 30. It does speed up your scans being able to do this and know what it is that you're looking for, i.e. trend on multiple time frames. Internet computer, no. Lunar, having a bit of a sell-off now after having a good strong week or so. This trend is in motion. It does need to extend itself further, and that next pullback could be an opportunity. I'll look at the 4 hour again. Yeah, we do have a downtrend there. There's going to be a number of options, I'm sure, later on. Here's the thing. If we are to see, and don't forget, in 15 minutes our new candle opens, so we're going to get a very clear view across all of these charts once we get the new day started. If we do see more red coming in and say, you know, it's 11:30, so the market's been open for another half hour, let's say we're down 1% or 2%, that's when we would do another scan to see if some of these ones that are downtrending on the 30 have now moved a little bit further and opened themselves up to a beautiful pullback for a cradle trade short. So we're always trying to think of timing, when the window of opportunity is going to be, so that we know to be around. And that's one of the things that I teach on that free Become a Trader course, is trading windows, knowing when the candles close. Okay, have a look, another one of these 2 days that really played out well, pulled back in, really nice move away, definitely with downward momentum, can be confirmed. And with one, we do have a nice little clean pullback. I'd like to see it move a little bit further, and then a pullback into these lows would be ideal. I'm going to put that into my watch list. By the way, guys, if you do like this content, I'd really appreciate it if you could do one thing for me, and that is just like, share, subscribe. The liking part is not so much of a big deal as the sharing part. But if you could do all of that and turn on your notifications, that would be very, very helpful. Thank you. Sushi Perp, it's a little bit too caught up in here. I would like to see... Actually, let me just zoom in a bit more. There is a lower high there. Check that 1 hour. It's a shame it came back up so high. It doesn't look quite as nice. I'm going to leave that for now because one of the major things that I teach is if it's not clear, it's not there. We can always go back through the charts and try and find something if we believe we've missed something. Better to not do that. Uniperp, no. Stellar, I can leave. Again, there's not enough trend there for me. With Atom having this lower high and lower low, I can now go lower to the 30. Little bit of cyclicity starting to come in, but once again, very slow, so I'll leave that. We saw EOS immunity. I got a couple of double ups in here, don't I? What's that? EOS USDT. Oh, that's because one's USDT, one's perp. Okay, got it. Understood. Two options. Okay, going to go from compound, which is in a very nice downtrend on the 4. Jump straight to that 30-minute. We can see really nice cyclicity starting to come in here on compound with the lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. A pullback in to around this region for a bearish candle would certainly be something that I would like to be aware of. NEM holding its ground. Is there a level? That's for those that know what the Bitcoin breakout is. I'm just going to mark that in for my personal reference as we do see a level there, but it's not being taught as part of the Bybit education. So you know what you're looking for if you know what you're looking for. NEAR. I can leave NEAR. It's not really trending all that well. Range it. Not sure what you mean by that, mate. Oh, you mean exchange contract to short? Yeah, there's a few out there. 30-minute. We are convergent just. It's not the greatest looking convergence, got to be honest. 4 hour is downtrending. You know, I'm going to leave Alice for the time being, given that we do have a number of options available at the moment. And we will have more later on, I suspect, if we do see the market fall further. File is not very it's not trending all that well, so I can leave that. Woo is still very sideways. FTT still having a lot of struggle around that $48 mark. And Ranjit, this is one of the options you can. It's an exchange contract. There is cyclicity with a lower high and lower low, but again, it's a little bit sticky, a little bit messy. Not the clearest looking chart, if I am being honest, and not really one for me at this stage. If it were to fall further, then certainly I would be open to that. Engine very much the same with a very ill-looking trend. And lit, this looks really nice. Look at this. Lower high, lower low, very good running move. That 30 looks fantastic. I'll even look at the 15 here. Yeah, not bad. You know what? The 15 pulled back into the cradle zone really nicely. Then we've got the 30 to back it up. Yeah, that's got to go in as well. It's a nice little option. So let's go back. Let's double back now because we've gone through our list. And let's have a look at what options we do have available. Okay. Not Bitcoin. There's no real trend there on Bitcoin that's of interest to me. Solana with the lower high on the 4 hour, we're going to jump down to the 30. And as you can see, a lower high through here, a step down once again. My view here for Sol is to see it dip further. I want to see it decline further, all right? I want to see it decline further and then the next pullback into that cradle zone. Don't forget, just have your rules next to you on the checklist. You can go to the website, TRADERCOBB.com, print them out. It's all there. That way it's really difficult to get it wrong if you're reading and ticking off checklists. The best thing to do is contact them like you're back in, grade 7. And that way you can just use a whiteboard marker and go through it. All right, that's the best way of doing it, and what many of my clients do. That way it's harder to get it wrong. Now, Sol, I want to see it fall further, pull back. Sand, same sort of thing. I do want to see it extend itself a little bit further than what it has done right now. That half an hour is the time frame of choice. It just needs to step down a bit further, same as what I said for Sol. The same can be said for AVAX, and what we see here is a number of markets that do come across as being very similar. That's because the market as a whole does tend to move as a whole. So AVAX is there. Oh, sorry, no, hang on. Whoa. Yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, looking for the short. Needs to move further. It's Chili's on the 4. So the only market that has a time frame higher than our 30 is Chili's. And the reason being is we have a higher low, a higher high, a very clean pullback. A very small bullish candle on our next 4-hour candle may present opportunities there to be long. The 8-hour trend is still in play, and as we come to the 16, you can also see there's an uptrend on the 16. So between the 4, the 8, and the 16, we may find an option. The 4-hour will be the time frame that I will be watching most clearly, given that we are right in that sweet spot right now. It'll be the next 4-hour candle or the one after that may provide us with that opportunity. Looping 4-hour trend is down. The 30-minute here, once again, we do have a nice little leg down. A pull back from this point into the cradle zone, if it were to be rather slow and a clean pullback like this. This is what I want. Really nice clean pullback, then a small bearish candle in that cradle zone. 1. If you have a look here, lower high, lower low. I do want to see one roll over further to increase the cyclicity, to give it that a better flow. And it's not for the selling, it's for the pull back. If we go a bit further down, because this pullback was a deeper one, we need to move a little bit further. Then the next pullback, being a shallower one, if we can get it, will be really, really nice on the charts. Compound, look, it's in pretty good stead right now. Lower high, lower low, lower high, back down. A pull back into the cradle zone, small bearish candle. After that on the 30. And finally, lit. As you can see, there's definitely downward momentum. There's no doubt about that. I'd even be interested here on the 15 if I were to get a little bearish candle pull up into here. So far, guys, today, we do have the lower time frames showing us potential opportunities. Now, it's going to take a little bit of time until the market settles itself after the open of the day, and in which case, if I do see more red across the board here, I will be going back through my buy bit list and seeing exactly if there are more opportunities to add to this watch list. Being that it is the lower time frames for the most part that I am watching, it will be the 15 and more so the 30-minute for today's early start to the session. The only one that definitely will be something to come back to in 4 hours' time, and this is a trading window for you, is Chili's right now, and that's for the 4 hour long if there were to be a small bullish candle. So once again, guys, this is brought to you by Trader Cobb and Bybit. If you haven't got your Bybit trading account, please do click the link below or the description below and go and open one up with your discounted trading fees. And go to TRADERCOBB.com to get your access to our Become a Trader course so that you can understand what it is and how I talk about things more so you're more switched on. It's absolutely free, so go and get stuck in. Have a great day, guys. Bye for now.